Have you ever had some kind of dessert left, like a brownie or a piece of cake or pie, and both you and someone else wanted it? Well, how do you decide how to share that? Let's say that there's this brownie, and we're just going to draw a little brownie here, and your mom tells you and your brother or your sister, whoever, you guys can share it if you can find a way to be happy about it. You know, I don't hear any screaming or kicking or fighting or yelling, right? So how are you going to do that? How are you guys going to share this without fighting over it? Well, a pretty common answer is called one of you divides it and one of you gets to choose it, right? It's called the divider-chooser method. I know, really creative, right? Now, of course, one of you divides, one of you chooses. Would it be fair for the person who divides it to get to choose first as well? I think we all say no, because then I go, I divide it right here, and I'm going to keep this part, and then, you know, my brother or sister gets the other part. Well, obviously we're not going to do that because that's not fair. So one of you chooses, and the other one divides. Now, how do you decide who divides and who chooses? I think a good idea would be just to say, hey, you know, do you want to divide or choose? Now, if you both want to do the same thing, then I think flipping a coin is fair. Now, which one do you want to do? And does it matter? Does it matter whether you divide or whether you choose? And the answer is officially, yes, it does matter. You want to choose. Now, the divider, of course, if you both like brownies, which I'm guessing you are, otherwise one person would be like, I don't care, you have it. And I guess there is the possibility that you could just want a little piece of brownie and just say, well, I don't want a big part, I just want a bite of it. But in general, let's attack this like both of you want the biggest part possible. So then you want to be the chooser because the divider is more likely to want to make it an even portion for both, because obviously if he on purpose or she on purpose makes one side bigger than the other, then the person who chooses first will choose the bigger side. So that's why you want to choose. Now, if the person is able to exactly cut it in half, well, then great, you both get an exact half. But what ends up happening is, of course, one side tends to look bigger than the other. Like if I were to divide it like that, well, the way I've drawn it, there's, you know, more bulk right here. So if you want the brownie, I'm going to choose this side. And even if there is a little bit more on one side, maybe instead of right here, you go a little bit over here. So then the part that's, you know, more bulky is smaller. And then the person goes, well, maybe I'm going to take this part then. You know, there are a lot of ways of looking at this. But the point of this is that you want to be the chooser, not the divider. But a fair way to do it would be to toss a coin, and if you lose, then okay, you're the divider, and then you divide it the best you can, and then you hopefully both get an equal half. Now let's say that there are 3 people who want to divide this brownie. So this is still the divider-chooser method, but now this is called a lone divider. Because one person divides, and then the other 2 get to choose before the divider gets to choose. So again, maybe rolling a die or flipping a coin or rock, paper, scissors, however you want to decide who has to divide. But again, you want to be one of the choosers. So let's say, okay, well, as the divider, now if the divider is really good and cuts it up into 3 really equal parts, this isn't very interesting. But let's say the divider goes, you know what, I'm going to make this a little more interesting. And that's not a really great way to do it because the lone divider is probably going to end up with this piece. But maybe the person says, well, I want this to be a little more interesting. Now we can see that the other 2 pieces are pretty close. To me, however, the one in the middle looks the biggest. But we're going to number these 1, 2, and 3. And let's say one person says on his secret ballot, I'm okay with 1 or 2. And then the other person is like, maybe he's a little bit younger, and he's like, nope, I just want 2. I only want 2. And you as the divider, you get these and you go, okay, now is there a fair way to do this? Is it fair, since the first person said they were okay with 1 or 2, to go ahead and give that person won. And since this person only wanted to give them 2, because this person has said, the first one has said, I'll be okay with 1 or 2, they're good enough, that's fine. Is that okay? And the answer is yeah. I mean, everybody at this point should be happy. The lone divider should be happy enough because he's the person or she's the person that divided it. The first person who wrote down what they wanted should be happy because they said, I'll be happy with 1 or 2. And the person who said 2 only got 2. So everybody should be happy. Well, let's complicate this just a little bit more. What if the first person says, nope, I only want 2. And the second person says, nope, I only want 2. What if both people say that, right? Well, actually, what we do here is the lone divider now gets to choose between 1 and 3. So lone divider, of course, is going to choose, if they like brownies, 1. So then what do we do for these 2 people? Well, we have them now become divider chooser. We combine them back into 1 brownie. They flip a coin or rock, paper, scissors or whatever. One of them cuts it in half, and let's say that they're a little bit better at it and they cut it in half right here, and then the other person gets to choose which half they want.